Hello, everyone, to our third episode of Girl Chat with Nicole and Ivy.
Yeah. Third one, third
Yeah.
episode.
And today we're going to continue our talk on Sex in the City and
Mhm.
Mr. Big. So I saw season two. I just knew that she was going to go back to him so easy because they dated, right? Like,
Mhm.
so season one ended with them breaking up. She broke up with him.
Mhm.
Season two, they're broken up, and then he comes back into her life because they're gonna try to be friends, right?
Yeah.
Try to be friends.
Like that always works.
Like to start off, the way that they started talking to each other, like, okay, whatever. But the fact that she invited him to her birthday party or birthday dinner when she's still trying to get over him,
Yeah.
like don't
Yeah.
do that.
I
I
know.
like I like Carrie, but she does crazy things.
I think she just, to be honest, I think she did with what most of us do is like, oh, we're just friends. I'll invite him to this because we're just friends. But like inwardly, we're like hoping that something comes about that invite,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
she was
know?
hoping for that.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my gosh, like there's just so many things that scream out that they're not meant for each other. And I just like the entire time I'm watching the episode, I'm thinking, girl, he's not for you. Like just let him go, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm thinking. And at the same time, it's like I can clearly see that he just doesn't love her as much as she loves him. And it's so
Mm.
clear. Like when she's sleeping over his house, he doesn't want any of her stuff left behind. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then that scene where he knocks her out of the bed because he's like taking over and she like socks him in the face right after that.
Yeah.
I
I thought it
mean,
was really interesting that she's just like, okay, like what do I have to do to kind of like leave my mark here at his place? I'm gonna leave this, I'm gonna leave that, I'm gonna leave this. But it's kind of just like, I don't know. I think as a single girl, it can be like speaking from experience, not that much experience, but experience as a single girl that like, yeah, it could be kind of fun to be like, okay, like I'm gonna start leaving this here. I remember dating this one guy and he would tell me like, I have a toothbrush for you. Like, don't worry, like that is gonna be your toothbrush. And then the next time I'd go over, he'd be like, by the way, that's yours. Nobody else has been here. So it is kind of fun. So I could see why she wanted to do stuff like that,
yeah.
but she was trying to make like the impossible possible.
Yeah, she was.
Like and then what's also really irritating about that whole season and what I feel is everything wrong with the show and just what I mean, of course, the writers are like, no, this has to be good writing. It has to be juicy. We got to suck people in. But it's like her friends were just, they didn't let her know, like, why do you want to leave anything at his place? Like, for what reason? What are you trying to get out of it? Like, none of them said anything
Right.
like that.
That is so true. I had not noticed that.
Like, like
She did. Didn't she talk? She talked to one of the girls, but I don't remember who it was.
about, she
About
talked to
leaving
all of them.
stuff about leaving stuff behind. And no, so
Yeah.
nobody was like, "Oh, who cares? Like it's not a big deal, right?"
They were all just like, she's just like, why do I feel like I have to like change certain things? Or like, I know I can't change a man like him, but like she was trying to figure out, okay, how can we both be in this situation? I know we're not exclusive. I know you don't want to call me your girlfriend, but we got to figure out how to work together. That way we're both happy in this relationship. Because no matter what, it's still a relationship. But I just felt like as a somebody, I would want my girlfriend to be like, Like, what are you trying to do? Like, you're gonna just end up getting hurt. And if he's not trying to alter anything, he doesn't have to. Because he never
Miranda was saying that to her though.
she did.
Yeah. Like, oh, nothing's changed. Like, nothing's changed between you and Mr. Big. Like, the relationship is the same. And she was like, she kept saying that. And then they were all meeting together for drinks at a club or something. And Carrie was too scared to say that he wasn't going to show up. Do you remember? She was like,
But
I
didn't
want you
he
to.
end up showing up?
He did end up showing up, but that he felt guilty. It's
Yeah.
so obvious. Like, because you see, this is where he pisses me off because he does the dude thing where it's like, she asked him, I want you to do something for me. I want my friends to get to know you better. And he was like, I know your friends, like whatever, right? And she's like, yeah, but I want you to hang out with us, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, whatever. And
Hmm.
when the time comes, like he stands her up, like he bails on her. And like it's so shitty. It's so shitty. Like she's ready to go, like she goes to pick him up, and he's like, oh, I can't. Like what? Like really? Like I think I would have cut things with this guy like a long time ago. Because if I don't feel like I'm a little bit of a priority, like he doesn't act like he wants to be dating her.
Exactly.
You know what? Like
but
when it's just crazy.
but I feel like okay, if he doesn't even care to date her, you can see that. Why okay, let me play devil's advocate here. Why is the show trying to make it seem as though he was in the wrong when she's the one with the unhealthy emotional behavior?
It totally is. It
And
is.
I actually, I'll tell you why I think they're meant for each other. She is literally just thinking of what's going to make her happy. She doesn't care about anybody else but herself. He doesn't care about anybody else but himself. They're both just two very selfish people. Like that's a characteristic that they both have. So I
Well,
just feel like they are meant for each other. They're just two very selfish, narcissistic individuals.
isn't that everybody in the show though? Isn't that everybody in New York though? Like if you pay
Oh no,
attention,
I haven't been to New
pay
York. Apparently I
pay
need to go.
attention, pay attention to the show, and everybody gives you that narcissistic vibe. Like everybody's like at least a little bit narcissistic, you know, me.
Mm, okay, that's fair. That's fair to say. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, in a city like New York, we see the same thing in LA, kind of.
that's true. I
So,
guess
yeah.
I just feel like this, okay, like the show is fun. I love seeing like the fashion. I love just seeing these like four girls like just go out, enjoy their life. I'm doing whatever the hell I want to do. But I just don't think it's something that any girl should follow when it comes to Carrie's behavior because she's so obsessed with Mr. Big when he
Yes.
hasn't given her anything to go off of in the context of like I want you except I want your body. And I don't understand why she would even like if I'm dating somebody and I know it's just a fling, I wouldn't be like, oh, like I wouldn't be all butthurt that my girlfriends like he did if he didn't show up or if he played because I will let them know in advance, hey, this is just a fling. He may not show up. I don't know, but because him and I are not like that serious, like why is she trying to have her friends meet him, get to know him? Why? Like, I mean, I tell
Well, they were
typically
already
like
back together, right?
they're not back together, but like,
Well, you see, I think in her head, they are back together.
yeah.
Like like when they are together, I guess, she she acts like they're exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And he never does. He never acts like they're exclusive.
I mean, it also makes me think like, okay, Nicole, like, come on, like you've never like gone out with a guy where you know that he doesn't want anything and yet you do. Like I've never like it's almost like it's not right and she's doing everything wrong, but like I've been there where I dated this guy who's now in a different country, and like I wanted something with him so bad, and it was so frustrating because anytime I would leave his place, I would text him. I remember one night I texted him and I was drinking wine. I just got back from his place and I was like, I wish you were here drinking wine with me. No response.
That's such a Mr. Big thing to do.
That was so, and then that made me
Oh
feel
my
even
gosh.
worse. I was already drinking. I was already going to get emotional. I think I like wrote poetry that night because I was so like distraught. I'm just like, I got to put this red wine down. I'm getting freaking drunk right now. Like, this is not helping the situation. Like, I kind of already knew from his previous actions, nothing is going to happen. He doesn't want a commitment. So what are you doing? And I felt like the only way I could kind of understand where Carrie's coming from is just due to like with him and I, it was the chemistry and it was the attraction. Like I was just so attracted to like the level of testosterone and masculinity he exuded. We both found each other extremely attractive, but he wasn't, he was exactly like Mr. Big.
um, what did you think about that scene where Carrie finds out that he's gonna move to Paris probably for work? Because that's
Oh
why
my
they break up. Like
gosh.
that's why they break up, I think, right? They end
She
up,
was so, she
yeah.
was just like, I can't believe I did this to myself. I must be a masochist or something. Like Miranda's like, okay, there will be no breaking of things here in this restaurant. Um, I don't know. Okay, I could kind of see where she's coming from, but at the same time, I don't.
So if I put myself in her position, right? Like she acts like they date exclusively.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, of course she's gonna be mad. And yeah, I do think it's really shitty that he's spending all this time with her. And yet the talk about, oh, I might have to move to Paris for work didn't even like come up. Like, isn't that something that comes up even if you're just casually dating someone? You're not really like planning things around them, but you at least bring something up. Like, I mean, if you've dated someone a couple times, you're like, oh, you like each other. Oh, by the way, this is happening at work. I might have to move.
You're right. But if his behavior hasn't been the most respectable behavior so far, why would he even say anything about Paris?
That's true.
I'm not trying to defend his actions, but I feel like this guy's all right. We already know this guy is a jerk. And just the fact
but
that she's
but
just
he's
like,
not a jerk. She's just not the one.
yeah, you're right. Cause he did make it known to her, right? Like he did tell her, like, I don't want anything.
Yeah. And
And then
then
I think it's funny that like she calls him and she's just like, I can't believe, like, she's like, I think about us every single day. I
but
wonder what you're
that's
doing.
true though. Like I totally thought of that like before she even said it.
What do you
Cuz
mean?
the whole like I plan things around us, like I think about us, like we and us. Like I totally get that. Cuz when I met my husband and we started dating and things got serious, like you start planning things kind of like around the other person, or you make life plans together as you go.
Well, yeah,
So
but you guys are like I'm sure he was not a Mr. Big.
No, he was not a Mr. Big.
Right. So, but like she has this thing in her mind where he has to tell her like what he's going. I guarantee if she was like, I'm gonna move to California, or like, do you like he'd be like, okay, I'll go fly to see you.
Yeah, he would be like, whatever.
I mean, I just think the fact that like that level of like, and the fact that she even showed up to his place and she's like, you know what? I figure we can make it work with like a beret and then her French fries and her cute red dress, which I like have to go buy now. Like, and she was just pretty much saying like, okay, like we can try to make this work, you know, I'll come see you or something like that. And he's like, as long as you're doing it for you and not for me, right? He said something like that.
Yeah. But was that after he got back from Paris?
I thought that was before he went to Paris.
Was that before or was it before? I just can't remember.
I thought it was before, but like the point that I'm trying to make is that I don't understand why she's so blinded by the attraction and the intimacy and the sex.
It's because she's obsessed and she likes the chase.
But she is being masochistic, if that's the
Mhm.
correct term. Like
We've all been there. We want somebody we can't have, or we're attracted to somebody more, even though we know they don't want us, because that makes it more fun to some people. Because some people just can't be like, well, some people don't take rejection well. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, I
like she's
don't.
obsessed with him. She's obsessed with him and she doesn't want to let him go. And she just can't stand it that she's not the one. Not
Yeah.
yet. Not yet, right? Not yet. But
I mean, I don't
like,
know.
come on. Like the fact that he took off and he comes back with a fiance. Okay. It's like it can't be more clear than that. That they're not meant to be. Like, how does he date Carrie on and off for like 2 years and then get engaged like that?
That
It's
was two
because
years.
I think she said in one of the episodes that it was like 2 years that they were on and off. And he left to Paris for like what, 6 months or something? And he came back with a fiance. That's so sad. I was so sad for her. But she put herself though there. She puts herself in those situations.
You were so sad for her.
I was sad for her because yes, it sucks, but it,
I mean, the only way I can be quote unquote sad for her, excuse me, as I just part my hair really quickly. I'm trying to give the audience like my good side here. Um, the only way I could somewhat feel sad for her is just like the rejection of, because I've been there. I feel like majority of the guys that I end up really liking, that I will give up my glorious life of being single for, are the guys who just don't want, are not interested. And it sucks. But at the same time, I feel like she, in the end, she was trying to make herself feel better by saying something like, oh my gosh, I'm a Katie girl. Remember? Like, I'm just the type of girl that a man can't handle and blah, blah, blah. It's almost like you're trying to justify the poor emotional state that you've been in, that you've been so obsessed with this guy, instead of realizing, okay, maybe there is something going on with me. And don't try to justify this guy's actions. Not justify, but like she's trying to make herself feel better by saying like
she couldn't
she's
handle
this
me.
amazing girl and I
Like
just
she's
can't
just,
be
yeah.
tamed. It's like,
Mhm.
no, you were a little too obsessed and blinded, and you're refusing to open your eyes and realize that he's just not interested in you. it's not that he was afraid of commitment. I just think it wasn't her. And I mean, you could just tell, like, she was super insecure by that. She went to go look for his ex-wife.
She's insecure, just period. She is
Yeah.
insecure. She's an insecure person.
And it's like,
It's
this
part of
is,
the reason why she does all the crazy stuff.
mhm.
Her insecurities.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Before watching this show, I was like, oh my gosh, out of the four of them, I'm probably Carrie. I mean, like, I've displayed some of those, poor like actions before. Um, we won't talk about the buff guy, but
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we were probably in our,
that
or
was
well,
like
I
only
mean,
one night, okay? Did I let my feelings get the best of me? I'll have to edit that out. No, but I just, I don't, I don't know. Her, it was almost like her girlfriend said to in the beginning, like, you're going out with him, like he was such an asshole to you. And she was just like, well, not the whole time.
hmm, like defending him after they're
Mhm.
broken up. Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, but and I do think though that girls that we can definitely, like, a lot of girls can be that way where we're trying to go after guys that don't want us.
Mhm.
I've been like, okay, I'm not going to reach out. If he reaches out, then I'll probably text him back, even though I know he just wants sex, or even though I know it's not going to go anywhere, but I just love being in his presence. But I just think that, like, it's not, um, I don't know. I just like Charlotte's view more. I like
Yeah,
Charlotte's behavior a little bit more.
I do too. I think she's a little bit more sane. Like she thinks things through a little bit more than the rest of them for sure.
Yeah.
She plays it safe.
I mean, I feel like she meets somebody, and oh my gosh, it was so that one episode where she ends up meeting, or not meeting, but like goes out with that one guy who's like super attractive, and he's seems like he's gay, but he's straight.
Oh my
You know,
gosh, yes. Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
he was actually really attractive.
He
I was just like, you know
was.
what? Like, I don't even think I'd care if he acted like all flamboyant. Like, I'd make out with him too.
But the spider or the mouse, come on, like who's
Yeah,
gonna
I
pick that up? Like
know.
I can't deal. Nah, I
That
need
was
help with
he
that.
was out of all of the guys. Well, you haven't finished season 3 yet, but out of all of them, that one was probably my favorite. Like, he has a good job. He's a chef. He knows how to cook. When a man knows how to cook and
I
he's like inviting people for
know.
dinner,
Yeah.
like, it's
I was just telling
sexy.
my husband, I wish there was like one day, just one day where I don't have to plan a single meal for all of you guys. We were sitting at the dinner table and I was telling my husband and my kids. It's like it
Really?
would be so nice if I could just have one day where I don't have to cook and feed everyone and think about what I'm going to make for dinner or whatever. And that's when we started talking about how sexy it is to see guys in the kitchen.
Yeah,
I was telling my husband, like, dang, that's like sexy, a guy that knows how to cook.
I know.
He's like, well, does it matter if I'm like cooking outside on the grill or in the kitchen? I'm like, it doesn't matter because you're like cooking, but
Yeah.
I think in the kitchen is sexier.
Yeah. Shirtless too. I like, yeah, that guy was really cute. He was super cute. It's just like, but I don't, but yeah, this whole like flamboyantness after like seeing the mouse, like, he definitely could not do anything. Like, he didn't.
I mean, he was already flamboyant, but the mouse thing, like he got so scared the way
Yeah.
they were kicking it towards each other.
Have you met, I mean, like prior to like being married, like met straight guys who'd come off like, are you guys gay? Like,
Yes,
you're like, yes, I've dated
I ha-
some.
I had a friend like that. Yeah,
Really?
straight guy, but we all had our doubts. Like, wait a minute. But yes, he's married and he has a kid. So he did not turn out to be gay. I guess not. But he always gave us that vibe. Like he could easily fit in with a group of girls because he would like be very like, flamboyant with the chicks, with the girls. He could totally be one of the girls, but then he could totally be one of the guys.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I kind of, yeah, I kind of know somebody like that.
I
And
guess
like,
I think he was
it's,
just he's very I would have described it as secure of himself, sure of himself. Like I don't think he didn't seem like he cared what people thought.
mm, I remember going out with this one guy who was like a DJ, something like that. It was like it wasn't that long. Like we only like hung out like a few times, but like he told me that like, oh yeah, like I've kissed like a guy once. And I'm like, what? Okay, this is the end of our date.
I dated a gay guy once in high
Huh?
school. I dated a gay guy in high school.
Did you know he was gay?
I did not know he was gay, but all the signs were there. We met in drama club. Yeah, we met in drama club.
That's so cool that you were in drama.
Yeah, he was so cute, the cutest. And so I was instantly attracted to him. But yeah, I later found out that he was gay. I think we dated
Mm,
for about 3 months. We dated for about 3 months, and I had heard some rumors and stuff, but I was like, nah, like really, like nah. But I would notice like he would only be very affectionate with me in front of other people. Like when we were alone, he was very like whatever with me. Like he would not try to like kiss me or hold my hand or touch me or anything. But when we were in front of other people, like he would overdo it sometimes. Yeah. But
that's why.
yeah,
Yeah, he
then
was trying to like, yeah, makes sense.
yeah. So the way we broke up, oh my gosh, let me tell you how he broke up with me. This was high school, 2005, 2006, probably 2006. And I think I was on vacation, summer vacation or something like that. He was still in school.
Hmm.
We were on different tracks. But he ended up going to some dance without me because I was like, no, to be honest, I don't want to go, but if you want to go, like go for it. Like I was not really the social type to go to dances and stuff. And then he wanted us to wear matching outfits to that thing. Like it was an aloha dance or something, and he wanted us to wear matching outfits. And I was like, okay, there's a sign of what I've been
Mm,
hearing.
yeah,
Cause like, I mean, what other guy would care? Like, I feel like normal guy, like straight guys don't care
yeah.
about stuff
They
like
don't.
that.
I don't think they do. I mean, not unless
Yeah.
it's like Halloween.
So I knew he was gonna go to the dance. But then like a girlfriend of mine called me and she's like, "Oh my God, um, are you coming to the dance?" I was like, "No, I'm not. Why?" It's like, "Oh, well, your boyfriend's here and he's here with another girl." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah." So I guess that's how he broke up with me because I tried to call him and he would like not pick up. And he like blocked me or unfriended me on MySpace.
MySpace.
Yes, MySpace. It was a MySpace days. And the
Give it
only
up for
reason,
MySpace.
the only reason why I knew that we broke up for sure was because my best friend called me and she goes, "Hey, dude, are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, I'm totally fine. Why? Like, should I be down or what? And she like quiet for a second. And she goes, your boyfriend just put on MySpace that he's single.
Oh my God.
I was like, what? Yeah, like he posted one of those bulletin board thingies, like, hey, I'm single, everybody. And I was like, what
Wow.
a dick. Like, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, maybe he was too scared to break up with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like, I
like
think
that's weird. That's like so rude too.
it was so rude. Like, I was so brokenhearted because I had such a big crush on him.
Really? He must have been a hottie then.
Girl, oh my God, I just like had flashbacks of stuff. But but what was I talking about? Um
Did you throw up on the beach just like Carrie did with Mr. Big when she saw him and Natasha? She was like, she threw up in her hat on the beach, remember?
oh my gosh. At the Hamptons? Was
Yeah.
it at no, but like years passed, like a few years passed, and I think we were friends on Facebook if eventually, and he apologized to me. So
Oh,
that was,
okay.
yeah, that was really nice. He's just like he was completely out of the closet by then, and he was like, you know what, I'm so sorry. I wasn't ready to like, come out or whatever. And sorry I
Yeah.
did that to you. And, I hope we can be friends. So yeah, we were friends for a while till like, you know, I think he went off to the military or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was an interesting story.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever dated anybody who later on I found out that they were gay.
Yeah.
But I have had like guy friends who I'm just like, it's so like you seem like you're gay. Like there's just like no masculinity. And
Yeah.
I feel like I can sense like a man's level. Don't we have that? Like, isn't that like science?
I
That's
think so.
scientific.
I think so.
Like we can sense something like they're either the masculinity or the level of testosterone. Like I feel like our aura, our femininity can sense when a man has a lot of it. And
Yeah.
I felt like this guy in particular just did not have like that much of it at all. Where I just wanted to talk to him about other guys all the time. I
Well,
wanted to be.
that's because you're super feminine, so you need a masculine guy, a
Mhm.
really masculine guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah. I do think I definitely do think that Mr. Big, he probably had a lot of testosterone. Like he was like a
Totally.
man.
Mhm.
But it's just
Like,
his attitude, but his attitude though is what ruined it. It's
like I
like,
hate him because of everything. Like as a woman, you want to cheer for Carrie, right? Like even though she does all this stupid shit. So you
mhm.
get mad at Big when he does certain things, but then it's like I could sense his testosterone. Like he's so masculine. Like,
Like when she got out of bed because she had to blow dry her hair, and he was just like, bring that sexy ass back over here. Like, I mean, like, yeah, it's like stuff like that. Like, let's push away his negative behavior and her negative behavior. Let's just focus solely on the way he interacts with her, the things he says as a man to a woman. I mean, yeah, like I like that. I would like to go out with somebody and get out of bed and he's like, bring that sexy ass over here. Like I like being told in a way what to do. Like I want somebody
I
who
could get
likes to,
that. Yeah.
like I want somebody who wants to put their foot down to me. Like please put me in my place. Like and I feel like, and it's so funny because I feel like I've mentioned stuff like this to guys and it just goes in one ear and out the other. And I'm just like, all right, dude, this ain't gonna last.
That's so
Like I'm
interesting.
gonna go out with somebody else now.
So you need to date a guy that's going to be able to tame you.
Oh my gosh.
Because I always
Probably tame
felt,
the level of anxiety and paranoia that I have. Yes.
so let me tell you what my guy friends would tell guys whenever I always had like a bunch of guy friends, right? I had girlfriends too, but my guy friends, I'd bring a new guy around, and it's funny because one of them told me this. He's like, so the other day when we were hanging out with your friends, so and so like walked up to me and he was just like, so you guys are dating, huh? He's like, yeah, she's great, right? He's saying that about me, right? And my friend goes, she's a free spirit. I
Really?
was like, are you kidding? Like they're scaring you already.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
So
I just,
I was a free spirit. And then I met my
yeah.
husband who totally tamed me. And here I am, a married woman with 2 kids.
Oh my God. I definitely, yeah, I see. I feel like, but see, I don't really feel like Carrie is quote unquote a free spirit. I think she is in the context of she just dates and does whatever she does with these
Mhm.
guys that she dates. Like she'll meet somebody and then they make out, and then next thing you know, she's in bed with them, like Mr. Big. In that way, she is a free spirit. But I feel like he has all the power. Like he has all the power. I don't feel like she has any.
Well, the reason why he has all the power is because she has all the love.
What do you mean?
Well, it you just reminded me of something that my mom would tell me when I was a little girl, and it's a little messed up. But my mom would always tell me, you never show a man how much you really love him because that's too much power for them. They'll
Interesting.
control you if you show them how much you really loved him. So that's what she would say. So right now that you
Huh.
said, oh, Big has all the power, I'm like, well, yeah, he has all the power because Carrie's like obsessed with him. He can do anything he wants with her, you know?
But don't you think that it needs to be the other way around?
What do you mean?
Like we're the ones who need to hold the power
Of course.
because we're the ones, like we're the ones who are meant to be chased. Except in this situation, it's almost like Carrie's chasing him.
Because she just can't, like, she won't accept that they're not meant to be together.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
it. Like, she just can't accept it. And she's just so in love with him. And they just can't, they just don't work out every time they start trying to date.
yeah. Like
And
something.
everything just goes to shit. And it's always because he doesn't give her her place, you know, because she already acts like his girlfriend. And there's this one scene where he's like, oh, this is my girlfriend, Carrie. Was that Big? Or was, and she was like, you introduced me as your girlfriend. I'm like, oh,
She's
please,
like,
Carrie, get over yourself. She's like melting away just because he introduced her as his girlfriend.
what scene was that? That's
They
seriously in
were,
episode 2.
yeah, it was season 2. It was in the beginning when they're like trying to date again. And I think it's at an Italian restaurant. They're at a restaurant. I don't know if it was at the Italian restaurant where he sings. Do you remember that scene where he sings?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then they end up, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like I feel okay. So did you already start season 3?
Yes, I've watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes, I think. Yeah.
Can we like touch on just those 3, or do you want to wait?
I don't remember, but we could touch. Like, I know for a fact that Natasha and Big ended up getting married.
That's season 2.
Was it? No, they weren't married yet, was it? Or were they married already? Because they were just engaged at the end of season 2. And at the beginning of season 3, she sees um she sees them in the newspaper, their wedding announcement.
Yeah, and then she goes to therapy. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, I remember that part.
And then like her girlfriends are just like, honey, like just as
Over
messed up as
it.
you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you need to go get you. And then she ends up seeing a therapist, and then she meets a guy in the waiting room at therapy, which by the way, like never happens. And I've gone through a lot of therapy. And they end up hanging out, and I think they played Twister together, which reminds me I gotta take out my Twister. And she ends up having sex with him. And she asks him, "So what are you seeing her for?" And he says, "I tend to lose interest after sleeping with a woman."
I
And he said, "What
know.
about you?" And she said, "I go after the wrong men, apparently."
I pick all the wrong men, she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
crazy.
I don't know. And I know how in the first episode I asked you, do you think it's right that she slept with Big so quickly? And you're like, well, sometimes that stuff just happens. But I feel like just by her realize after having sex, just that one action, and she realizes like apparently I pick all the wrong men, but I don't really think it's the wrong men. I just think you're moving way too quickly, girl. I mean, like, I get
Possible.
that two people, you're two consenting adults, but I just feel like, yeah, but if that if one person doesn't call the other person's gonna get bummed out. Like, unless like, how can you control emotions? I don't know. I don't
So
know.
maybe sleeping with someone too soon kills the magic. Is that it?
Yeah.
Because once you've already had that person, it's like, okay, well, I know what that's like. I could still like,
I
like,
just I guess I just feel like the treatment from the guy is just going to be different.
yeah, it is.
And
But it
and
also
I
depends on, it does depend on the guy, but it does make a big difference.
I feel you're right. It does depend on the guy, because some guys are just like sprung on you after, and they're just like, "I'm in love with you." And then some
Skipper,
are, huh?
like Skipper.
Yes. Oh my God. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, I feel like Miranda is the guy and he's the girl.
Mm, I just love Miranda. She really is becoming one of my favorite characters.
And
I
I
just,
feel like it's actually good that they show a guy like Skipper who genuinely likes somebody and he wants to be with her. Like, I think, okay, good. I'm glad that this show is showing there are guys out there who do want a relationship, who want, like, he praised her. He was like, what did he say? Like, you're illuminating or something like that.
yeah.
Like, what girl doesn't want to be told that they're illuminating? Like,
Yeah.
I
And
do. I
right
want all the
now,
compliments and all the flowers. Like,
right now she's dating that bartender dude,
Steve.
Steve. I
Yeah,
like him.
I do
I
too.
like him. Like he's so honest. Like
He's actually
he just
he's
says what
actually
he's
really cute.
feeling.
Like, he doesn't have the cutest face, but he has like a really good body. I'm a sucker for bods. I'm a sucker for muscles.
I need a pretty face.
I mean, like, I want a pretty face too. I want a pretty face and a really nice body. But okay, so then that was in season 2 then when Miranda, did you get to the part where she wants to buy him a suit? Okay. And then she could clearly afford so much more. And the 4 girls are getting their nails done. And Charlotte's like, "So you're okay with dating somebody who doesn't have any other goals or aspirations?" And, typically, like, it's the man who make more. And Carrie and Samantha are just like, What are you talking about?" Or like Miranda even said, like, "What are you talking about? Like, what's wrong with the woman making more?" And which I'm slowly but surely understanding and getting. But I kind of still like the way Charlotte sees it as, yeah, but it's kind of a little bit more acceptable when the man makes more. Not that a woman should make less. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I
I
just, maybe just because that means that maybe that, I guess I feel like if the guy makes more than me, then I'll be able to live like a really fun lifestyle with him.
I think that we talked about this. Not about this, but remember I told you that guys like to feel useful.
Hmm.
So like the fact that he makes less than her, it just makes him feel like less. I just
So
think it's something like men just need to feel like they can be the providers, I think.
they're supposed to, yeah.
And so I don't think there's anything wrong with women making more money than men,
Hmm.
but I think ultimately it creates a problem because men like to feel needed.
Mm.
Yeah.
So then what do you think about the last thing she told him? Because she could didn't they broke up. Like you saw that part. Okay, so you saw the part where they broke up and she said, so I have to apologize for my success, or like I should
Yeah.
apologize because I'm successful.
Yeah.
I I don't really think it's fair for them to break up. I feel like that's just a little too extreme, dude. Like you're really gonna like let allow like lose her. And I also feel bad for her because it's like she's kind of right. Like, so I really like you. Just because I make more, I can't be in a relationship with you. But I also do get where you're coming from. Like the guy wants to feel needed. I do think that there are a lot of very, very, very modern men out there who would not mind being with somebody who makes more. They'd probably feel proud. They're just like, you know, um,
But what if you were the guy and you couldn't get your girl a fancy gift, something that she could get herself, you cannot afford? Like when they would go out to eat, like they would only go out to like pizza places and stuff because he couldn't afford to take her out to dinner, like to an actual
yeah,
restaurant.
that's true. Yeah. I mean,
Like, wouldn't you feel crappy? Like, dang, like I have the best woman and I can't even buy her a fancy dinner.
yeah, I could see that. I could see that mainly because I dated somebody in the past who didn't really make a lot of money. And like we were not exclusive, but I knew he really liked me. And there were times where I would mention, like, he'd be like, wait, you're going out? Like, and then he would see my Instagram story or something, and I'm like at a really nice place, or I'm being taken out somewhere really nice. And he's just like, okay, like I'm sorry, I can't afford to like take you out. Like I can't afford that stuff though. And I'm thinking, okay, but like I'm gonna continue going out with these other guys. Like that's not my problem though. Like, I want to be able to. Then I feel like, so then what do you think in a situation like that? Like what should the guy just like try to make more money then?
I
Because you're
mean,
you're right. You have a point. Like he can't even afford.
because even he said it, he was like, "You're so great, like you're so smart and awesome and successful. I just feel like crap when I'm with you." Like he feels like less when he's with her because she's so grand or whatever. So that was kind of sad to me. Like
Do you
they're so in love with each other, but like the class issue.
yeah. And I think that's where Charlotte had a point when she said it's a little bit more acceptable, or not acceptable. Maybe acceptable isn't the correct term, but it's just a little bit, it kind of makes more sense if he makes more than her. Because there's a lot of the times, like, guys who are making like a ton of money, or who have like really good jobs, they'll still go out with girls who don't make that much money.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't matter. Like it's so interesting because I have often felt, if I'm going out with somebody who's really smart and has this really good job and like a super nice car, there are times where I feel a little like insecure, where I'm just like, I feel like I need to match this. Where I've heard from plenty of guys, they'll say, like, we don't care about that stuff. like we don't care about how much money a girl makes. Like, why would that matter? Like, we're the providers. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting, because they're oftentimes. So then, okay, so that raises a question. Do you think that we should just stay? I mean, how do I dating our equal? Like Miranda and Steve were not each other's equal.
No.
Do you think it kind of makes a little bit more sense, or a relationship is able to work and move a little bit more smoothly if we
Totally.
are dating somebody who is our equal,
Totally.
intellectual wise, like intellectually, education, money, um, politically, spiritually, like
Yeah, all of that. All of that. Like if you just meet someone where you're at the same level, of course things are going to run more smoothly.
Mhm.
I think so. Cuz then
um
you don't have all these other factors, you know.
yeah, I
It's
will
like it's
say.
I just feel so bad like they have so much trouble meeting people and when they do, it's like the wrong person.
I will say the times where I felt like I wasn't dating my equal is when I've dated guys who were not as big of, like, I've dated a guy who wasn't that big of a reader, but we could sit and have really deep conversation for hours, and we can banter, and we I could watch something and I'll be like, what do you think of that scene? And he will be able to explain anything and everything so well. And I've dated guys who are not really big readers, who are just, when I try to have thought-provoking conversations, it just goes over their head. And it's hard to make something like that work, I will say, you know?
Yep. It is hard. Me, I'm such a huge film person, you know.
Yeah.
I love films. Best job I ever had was Blockbuster.
I'm still so jealous of that.
I'm just so sad I had to quit because it was not paying me enough, but it was the best job.
Right? You're
Aside
like, I'm just
as-
gonna volunteer then.
aside from like working late, which was like the only bummer, but other than that, everybody loved working there. And
Yeah.
the terrible pay, but oh well. And my husband's not a film guy. Like he's not.
Mm.
Like, oh, like I could be talking about a movie and mentioning like actors' names, and he's like, I'm clueless. Like, I don't know what you're speaking another language to me. So, like, it does make things smoother when like your views align kind of the same with the person. Yeah. Cause like just thinking about it, like we have such a tough time picking films because I always want to pick something like a drama film, something that's
Mm.
been like nominated for an Academy Award. And
Mm.
those are the movies that will put him to sleep. And
Really?
he won't understand and doesn't get the point of. So I have to learn. I had to teach myself how to like sci-fi movies. So
Sci-fi.
he loves sci-fi films. So I'm
Okay.
like, okay, I could do sci-fi, but do pick something good. Like he has this thing for low budget sci-fi films and it just kills me. I can't.
I'm with you on that.
But But, like, if I find, like, a really good show, like, it's really well acted, like, it looks like it has a good budget and it has sci-fi in it, then we can get in it. You know, like, if it has sci-fi and it has some, like, drama in it and some, you know, romance in it, like, okay, I could do that.
Mm. I get what you're saying. Like,
You have
yeah,
to
I don't.
compromise, like, you have
You
to
do, you
compromise,
do.
yeah.
And it's so funny because I was talking to my friend Patrick the other night, and he was saying, like, he was like asking me all these different like, are you into James Bond movies? And I'm like, no. And he's just like, oh my God, you're breaking my heart. And I'm like, look, I tend to just date guys who like the same kind of films as I do. And he was like, what guy is going to be interested in the same types of films that you are? Like, I don't know. But like, because typically, and it's funny because a friend of mine will hang out and we'll watch a film and he'll be like, okay, I see how this is working. Nicole's the one who chooses the films. And he really likes Marvel and DC movies. I told him, like, look, I'll watch one after the month of March is done. Because this whole month, I'm watching nothing but the movies that are nominated for the Oscars. Like, I'm not going to fill my brain with some
I
Marvel
was
and DC film.
I used to be such a huge Oscar nerd, but I haven't seen the Oscars in years. Yeah.
Oh my
Kids
God.
kids will do that to you.
I see. I
I
see.
don't know, like I guess like things that used to be important to you aren't super important after you have kids, I guess.
No, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That
But
makes
also
sense.
I started just not liking like the whole show. Like I just like they weren't putting the same kick in it as before.
I get it.
Yeah. I
I
think
get it.
one of the last shows, like the one of the last Oscars I watched was I think Seth MacFarlane hosted. Was
Wow.
it the Oscars? That was like so long ago.
I was
And
gonna say.
one of my favorites was when Hugh Jackman hosted. Do you remember that
Yes.
year?
Didn't
That
he do that
was
with
the
Anne Hathaway?
yes, it was a musical, like Broadway theme. I was so in
Yeah.
love. But yeah,
Yeah.
what were we talking about? We're going off subject.
Like if dating
Oh, right.
somebody of the
Somebody
same,
who, right,
you're
same
equal.
level,
Yeah.
equals.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think, I mean, see, I don't know. I get where she's coming from, where she's just like, so I have to apologize for my success. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, it's because they were good together. Like she was genuinely happy.
She was
And
happy. Like she liked him.
and I will say though, like she does seem like somebody who's like, I have a schedule to keep. And that one
She's a
morning when,
lawyer. Like I know so many people like her. Like she reminds
yeah,
me of a friend. She reminds me of a friend. And
like
as soon as she started dating the bartender, I'm like, this is not going to be good for her. Like she's a freaking lawyer. It's not going to work out.
when he told her like just like like let's just cuddle, and she's just like, what are you talking about? Like I have my cleaning,
He's
I did
like, how
spinning.
long? Like, how long? Or do you want to
And he's
cuddle
like, you want a
for? Like,
time
I
limit
need a
for
time. Like,
cuddling?
yeah, yeah. But I totally get that though. Like, I'm not even mad at her for being a bitch like that
I
because she wasn't
actually
being a
am
bitch. Like,
too.
she has things to do, you know?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Like,
Like if I'm,
I feel like that too. Like, I'm like that.
yeah, not that I have like guys staying over every night, but like to me, it's like I want my coffee in the morning.
Like,
Okay.
there's a mental schedule
There
that you
is.
have
I
to
want my
like,
coffee. My followers want to see me pour my coffee in my cup. They want to see me go outside and play some fun music.
the morning dance.
Exactly. I don't got time to sit here and cuddle with you. Like, I think, and how she even told him, like, let's just have sex at night, like normal
Like normal people.
sapiens or whatever.
Homo sapiens, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that I would probably agree. I would probably yeah,
That's so funny because like,
I'd prefer everything in the evening.
I always tell my husband, like, man, like, I really wish that we could have morning sex. Like, that would just be like, just having sex in the daytime is like the best to me. I don't
Really?
know. Like, yeah. Maybe because I'm old now, but
No.
come, like, by the time we put the kids to sleep, like, we can like talk all day about how much we want to do stuff at night. But then the time comes and it's like, we could do this tomorrow, right? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow.
You are reminding me of a short clip of Shrek where him and her get married and they have like these kids and they're running around and they're like, it's like this amazing time with their children. And then as soon as like the kids are in bed and they're asleep, plays this like sexy music. And then it shows both of them just like laying there in bed,
Yeah,
like
that
snoring.
I've seen that. That's totally us. Yeah. So, I don't know why she's hating on day sex.
And then
Because
Carrie was just
we're
like, you don't have to spin if you're having sex.
right. I was like, duh, you're burning calories.
You probably, but like honestly, like for somebody who is not used to including, I mean, I haven't been in a relationship in a really long time, but like I like my time with myself. Like, so if she probably feels like you're cutting into my me time, like,
That too. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Cause like I totally feel that. Cause my husband had some days off last week and I was like, so when do you go back to work? Cause when you're here, like I don't do like my me stuff. Like I'm too worried about what to do with you.
Really.
Cause like he stays home and it's like, hush, like now I'm not gonna do anything all day because you're here. So
You
like
just get feel like you get distracted,
I
like
do,
you
I get
just
to
want to
I
make out.
I get distracted and then I'll be like, so what are we gonna do today? You know, like, what are we
Ah,
gonna do today? Should we watch a movie? Should we watch a scary movie? Let's watch something we can't watch when the kids are here.
that is so
So,
cute.
and then I'll just like, and then I'll just be like, great, I had to do this for work. I had to do this for our YouTube channel. I didn't do anything, all because
Right?
you're here
Yes,
distracting
girl, this
me,
YouTube
you
channel is the
know?
priority.
And then like I was working on something last week and I was right here on my laptop and he had the day off again. And he comes in here and he like sits here behind me. He grabs the guitar and he starts like fiddling with it. And I'm like, does he want attention? Like, should I pay attention to him? I'm like, I'm gonna ignore him for a little bit. Let's see how long I can ignore him for. Like 5 minutes, I think. Cause after that, it's just like, oh, so what should we do?
That is so
So I can
funny.
totally get, but like after a while, it's like, okay, I need me time. Like I need to go back to my schedule, like my routine. So I can totally get Miranda feeling
Yeah.
that way. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I can too. And then the fact that like I thought it was really cute that like he called her and he was just like, look at the moon.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
you see, like he was a decent guy. You know, he wasn't a Mr. Big.
No.
Like he portrayed what is out there. There are a lot of really good guys out there. I don't think that this show is like a I don't think it's a man-hating show, even though I'm sure a lot
It's
of men will
not.
disagree,
No, I don't think
but
it's a man-hating show.
I don't think it's a man-hating show. I think
Mm-mm.
it's what you shouldn't do in relationship show.
Yeah, totally.
You
Because
know?
even sometimes they like they make the guy look good in the situation.
Yeah.
Do you remember that episode where Carrie's dating this guy? Oh, who was he? There's so many guys that I forget, right? But there's this guy where he's like, "Oh, I thought you were one of the normal ones." Like, she meets him at a water fountain or something. They're both reading outside or something like that. They meet each other outside somewhere and they start dating. And I guess he had just broken up with someone because she was crazy.
Mm,
And Carrie was like, why do you guys have to be like that? Like, why are you guys all like this? Like, why can't you guys be normal? And that's when he's like, us, like, we are normal. Like, you girls, like, you ladies are the crazy ones, you know? Like, and so they start dating, and Carrie's like, he's too perfect or whatever. Like, there has to be something weird about him. There has to be something not normal.
I know who you're talking about now.
And sure enough, she gets nosy and starts going through his stuff like a crazy person.
Right?
And he walks back in and sees her going through his stuff and trying to like open a little like what was it? Like he had something locked in the little box and
Yeah.
she was
She
trying
was
to
going through
open
his
it with a
box.
knife. And he walks in on her and he's like, I was just coming back to tell you that I wasn't going to go to work and I was going to spend the day with you, but like get out. Like I thought you were normal. Like
Yeah.
what the heck? So like she
But
does crazy stuff like that and ruins relationships with good guys.
yeah, because she feels like, okay, there has to be like something has to go wrong. And
That's her insecurity though. Like
yeah, yeah, it's almost like she's incapable of being happy. And I think it's really, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that kind of like,
you just reminded me of what the therapist told her. What do
what?
all these guys have in common? You,
Mm.
baby girl, you.
It reminds me of this one episode of The Big Bang Theory where Penny, I don't know if you've seen it, Penny and her boyfriend Leonard, it's actually a really cute show. They're a cute couple. I forgot what happened. I think she was like bothered or something. And he was just like, what's wrong? And she was just, and he was like, why are you so bothered? Like, what are you so irritated about? And she's just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking about the relationship, you know, like I'm just like, everything's going so good and I'm just like so happy. And he's like, and that's a bad thing. And she's just like, well, of course something bad's gonna happen. I'm happy, you know? Like, but the fact that they're showing these girls act semi crazy, I do think that I won't speak for all of us females, but I just, at least me personally, like, yeah, like sometimes, I mean, we do get emotional, you know, like we have
Totally.
this thing called a period every single month. Sometimes it's hard for us to even like manage our hormones and our emotions, and we probably do come off. And some of us women are a little bit more emotional than others and sensitive. I know I can be. So sometimes I could feel bad for like the guys that I date because I already know that like I can I won't go through their stuff, but I very much can be like a damsel in distress and like tell me I'm okay. I feel like I'm gonna die because I have a cold right now.
You
But
do that whole throw yourself on the bed thing.
on the floor like Nicole. But yeah, I feel like if a guy went through a girl's stuff, like, ooh, honey,
That's what I was thinking.
you
Like when
are
she was
psych.
going through
I'm
his
calling the cops right
she's
now. Who do you think you
yeah, like
are?
she started going through his stuff and I was just like if somebody was doing that to my place, if I was dating someone and they were going through my stuff like that, crazy, crazy person. Get out of
You would
here.
want to call the cops. But do you think that if a girl did that, would a guy call the cops?
No. I mean, it depends. Like if she's never done anything crazy to him before, probably not. But if she's already been crazy in front of him, probably he will.
Yeah.
Like if he knows she's crazy for real, he probably will call the cops.
Yeah.
But if it's like the first glimpse he's seeing, then he probably won't.
Mm.
Probably
But
like, what
they
are you
didn't end up
doing?
going out again after that. Like,
No, no, like that was it. Yeah.
I feel like she just didn't, I feel like it was like an abundance amount of emotions after Mr. Big. Like, I don't even know how to date now. Like, I don't know.
But
I don't
like
know.
I feel like she does okay with other people. Like she does better with other people that she dates. And
Yeah.
it might be
Well,
because
it's
she
probably because they like her back.
yeah, totally. Yeah, they like her back. And she's a little bit more like like self, she has a little bit more self-control, I think.
Mm. My gosh, this is so fun. I just want to go on a date now. And like, and just like have that be our next topic, how my last date went or something.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh, the date experiment.
Yes.
Okay, next time you go on a date with somebody new though, if it's somebody new, we should totally talk about it.
Okay.
We should dissect a date. Because I mean, I have not been on a date in forever. So I can't
Well,
tell you.
I did get
I can't be
asked
much of
to,
a
huh?
I said I haven't been out on a date in forever, so I can't input much.
You guys still don't go on dates?
We haven't, like we want to, but we don't have a babysitter. Well, like I do, but I feel kind of guilty leaving them, I guess, because my friend, she has three other wild children. And so
Mm,
like I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be like with five kids. Like, I don't know. I guess I
that's
feel
so
weird
funny.
leaving my kids behind for a little bit.
Yeah, makes sense.
I no biggie if I leave them with like their grandmas. Like I can leave them with their grandmas for an entire weekend, an entire week if they want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like we're just making friends out here still.
Mm,
So like we're breaking in friends, you know, we're trying people out, making sure
yeah.
they can handle us and we can handle them, you know.
Yeah. No, that makes
So
sense.
I guess it is like I'm dating people.
Yeah, right?
It's hard making new friends. Like, yeah,
It
it's
can
like
be.
dating. It's kind of like dating. And
Okay,
I have
our next episode needs to be on female friendships and why
okay.
it's so hard for us girls to, I mean, I feel like you've experienced trying to find female
I
friends. I've
yeah.
had a very hard time trying to find female friends. It's not like I want to have a ton of male friends. Like I love them. Like they've been really good friends to me and helped me move, but like it's just so much. I want a trip to Cabo with girls, you know? Like I want a
That's
trip to
it. We're
Paris.
taking a girls trip this year.
We are taking a girls trip this
We're taking a
year
we're
and we're
we're
going to
speaking it
vlog
into
about it.
existence. Let it be known, everybody. We're
Yes,
taking a trip this year.
we are.
Totally. I was just thinking about that. It's hard because like there are times, like I think it was the end of season 2 when she sees all her girlfriends hanging out at the restaurant eating or talking and stuff, and she just sees them and she's like,
See, exactly.
and I'm
Yeah.
just like my heart breaks a little bit every time, like
Oh,
because it's like, oh, like damn it, like
like
I
I
don't
want
have,
that.
like I want that, like
I
I don't
totally
have,
get
like, you
what you're
know.
saying.
And I'm like, fuck, like, dang it, Nicole, why can't you live like around the corner from me so we can go have coffee and talk about all the things that bug us
And then just like blog about it,
and
record
blog
it.
about it? Yeah.
Exactly. I totally get it. I get it. I totally get it. And I
Hmm.
think it's even how you reminded me of a scene really quickly before we wrap up. But she was going out with Mr. Big and then Miranda called her and she was like, oh, we're gonna have dinner at this top place. And she's like, oh, I don't think Big and I have any plans that night. And she's like, excuse me, like, do you hear yourself? And she was like, I have put my girlfriends before, I put a guy before my girlfriends. Like that, I've always told myself I would never do. I will never do. And I feel like I've been really good at never putting a guy before a girlfriend. I will say, like, because I've met those girls who just put their boyfriends before their girlfriends. And then when you guys break up, you're going to start reaching back out.
Oh yeah, they do.
And that's not cool. I had to come to realization and I had to set boundaries real quick. Like I can't be friends with girls who I can be all about a guy as well, but just having like that girlfriend time is really healthy.
Yeah, totally.
So that was my closing thought.
You just reminded me of, because she did that like more than once. She cancels a dinner or something. Miranda calls her and she's like, "Oh, you're ready for dinner or something?" And she's at Big's house
Oh,
and he's
that's
making dinner for her. And
right.
she gets so pissed off. I was like, oh my God, I would be pissed off too. Cause she's
Yeah.
like literally, I think she was already waiting for her at the restaurant or at the bar or whatever.
But see, that just shows how like negative, like
Like
that's
that's
just,
not
there was like
cool.
talk, that's like a toxic relationship.
Toxic.
If you can't
Yeah.
even like, you like that word I just used right there.
Yeah. Sick.
Okay. My Mr. Big is about to show up right now. Just kidding. I don't have one. I'm Mr. Big.
You're Mr.
I'm the one with the
Big.
power.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
JK. But yeah, this was fun.
Totally fun. We
You can go
still
ahead and
talk
close us out.
about, we're closing this. Are we closing this? I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
we're
know if I
closing it.
if I should continue the convo or not. Okay, well, this was episode 3 of Girl Chats, and we will see you in another week or so to talk about female friendships.
Yes, female
So
friendships and why they're so hard.
stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram. We will link descriptions and links and all that good stuff in the bio, and subscribe to this channel and give this video a like if you like our conversation.
If
Thank
you enjoy
you.
seeing us on your big screen.
Bye.